Hello everybody and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, quick disclaimer here, this is actually my third attempt at making the intro for this video. So today we are going to be talking about news of the hotfix that's coming around the corner. We're getting, yes, another hotfix that's supposed to be here either by Friday or Monday at the latest. They have released the release notes for it today, and that's what we're going to be talking about. And there are a couple points that are good. And there are a couple points that really upset me about the notes and the problems that are being experienced and the way they're being handled. And I'm not even experiencing most of those problems, but as hopefully you guys can tell, I am trying very, very hard to solve many of them for you, which we will also have another solution I want you guys to try out at the end of this video. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But anyways, so there's my disclaimer. Be ready for it. There's a couple spots that I get a little hot. But I do explain why. And there are some good information, is some good information that is coming. It's not all bad. It's just I would have done things a little differently. Stay tuned and find out why. If you are interested in acquiring my Overkill's Cessna Citation Longitude guide from Microsoft Flight Simulator, consider joining my Patreon site at level tier 2 or above. That's $10 or more, which will give you access to all of the Overkill tutorial guides. Please keep in mind with Patreon, you do not have to subscribe each and every month. Once you subscribe, you will be charged $10. You will have access to all of the guides, and if you wish, you can then cancel the subscription, and you will maintain access to Patreon until the first of the following month. So, with that in mind, let's talk about what this guide is. This guide gives you a full flight tutorial from Boston to Minneapolis. It also walks you through installing any modifications that I use for this aircraft, a full cockpit tutorial, breaking down how to create your flight plan using SimBrief, which is a free service, and then completing the flight successfully. If there are any questions, you're always welcome to give feedback, as joining my Patreon site gives you access to my Discord channel as well, giving you direct access and communication to me. So once again, if you guys are interested, please consider joining the Patreon. It definitely helps support the channel and keeps the content coming, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video. Okay, so real quick, the other thing that I wanted to address real fast while we're here, guys, is yesterday I did forget a couple of things when I was talking about the graphics settings, and they were pointed out to me today. First off, ray tracing. You want to make sure you set this back to 1 if you were a PC user. Obviously, I don't even know if you can get to this with your not PC, but this was on by default prior to the Xbox release. Okay, now there is no true ray tracing, to my understanding, in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it absolutely does make a difference in the way that the lighting is handled. And then the other one is, here's what I ended with yesterday. Film grain set to 0, color grading set to 0, and then sharpen set to 0 is where I have left my simulator with ray tracing turned on. I have set my LOD back to 1. It just wasn't worth the impact dealing with the stuttering and things like that. There were many areas after further testing last night that I lost quite a bit of frame rate, and it's just not worth it. Okay, so once you close this or you hit save, now I use Notepad++. This is a free text editor. I highly recommend it. You don't have to change the file type in here. You don't have to change this file type to text. If you use like Notepad++, you can just open up in a Notepad. And you may be able to do that with Notepad. Honestly, I didn't try it. Anyway, so the other thing you do is after you hit save, you close it. You also want to, and this is the part I forgot, and a bunch of you pointed it out, and thank you, is you need to come in here to the attributes. You right click, go to properties, and save it to read only, and then hit apply. What that will do is that will prevent the simulator from making any further edits to it, when you go into the launch the general options or things like that. Now keep that in mind. This is where all of your configuration is stored. So any of your graphic settings you will not be able to change in the sim because this file is set to read only. At least that's my understanding. Now, the other thing that you also want to remember, if you want to go through and change it further, you need to come back in here and take that read only off, or you also will not be able to make any changes to that file. Okay, so now let's get into the hotfix. Okay, so if you're like me, then you're probably not spending half your life on the forums being a forum crawler, so you probably would have missed this. Now, I know a lot of YouTube videos are coming up, but I figured I would share it with you guys as well, as I've been trying to relay as much of the fix information as possible. So this is in relation to a hotfix that's supposed to be coming out either Friday or Monday, depending on how things progress. So I've already read through most of this, but I have some major issues with a lot of this stuff. It's actually quite frustrating, even knowing that I have not been experiencing 90% of the issues that are listed here, which I'd love for them to be able to tell me why. As hopefully you guys have caught on, I've been trying very, very hard to help you guys solve a lot of these issues. So some of these issues, when I'm reading them now, and as they're identifying the cause and source, it's actually really upsetting to me that some of these even made it through to the last batch. They're sitting here talking about World Update 6. 5 never should have been released if they knew about some of this stuff. Anyway, so let's get through it, and then we'll go from there. Volumetric lighting is missing. My biggest thing with that is, how in the heck did you not know that? Like that again, okay? The shader bug, and this was a shader bug, and will be addressed in the upcoming hotfix. You knew that existed then, okay? So this is, you pushed out an update and you knew this was an issue. One of the biggest problems that I have with this is Microsoft Flight Simulator shines out above the rest with two items. One, the photogrammetry satellite imagery, right? It's a game changer, being able to truly fly over your home city or go to a place that you've never been to in the world and at least get I would say within the 80 to 90% percentile range of what it truly looks like. Okay, so you get a very good representation, and for the most part, everything's 3D and laid out. The other thing, part 2, is the graphics. The graphics surpass any other simulator by far. So why would you let something like volumetric lighting be impacted when you know that the graphics and graphics quality is one of your major standing points? Okay, that's first thing. But, okay, we can get done. And guys, I am going to sound pretty pissy on this one, and you know me, that's not typically my style, but I work in IT for a living, okay? And the first thing that I do when I get a customer is when they report an issue is, and we get customers who report many issues at the same time. You have to prioritize. You treat it like a sick patient in the hospital, and you prioritize. First, get it up, get it stable, get it, running well, and then move forward. And you'll see why I'm annoyed right now. I shouldn't have read it first because I wouldn't be as frustrated. LOD popping and stuttering when camera is panning. Again, not the end of the world, but something that absolutely should have been caught. PC simmers with graphics ultra experience, or will experience this when panning the camera around very quickly. We are working on a new option that will allow you to customize off scenery or how much off scenery will be cached. We are aiming for this to be released on August 24th. So basically what they're saying, if you want the smoothest experience and you typically run ultra graphic settings, kick it down to high. Okay, that's what they just said right there. Those of us who have the system that can run it and push it on ultra, stop pushing it on ultra right now. Kick it down to high, and it will smooth out your experience when panning. Low resolution ground texture. This is a bug introduced when we fixed the tree draw distance from high latitudes and will be addressed in the upcoming hotfix. Again, this one I'm all right with. I get it. It happens. We'll get around that, right? It's not the end of the world. It's really not. Yes, it kind of sucked. It's weird. Now, and there's some good news from this. View from 30,000 feet. Detail level will increase to an even higher level than Sim Update 4. Okay, so from the crap comes a good gem. Okay, I'm okay with that. That happens. That's part of change in progress. I can live with that. And I can understand why the patch was released, knowing that was an issue. Okay. And again, view from 30,000 or view from above 30,000 feet. The same fix also improves the night lighting draw distance, which again, that will be actually very, very nice. That'll be a big game changer. Passing over some of the larger metropolitan areas with some good street lighting. That could be make some pretty cool shots. All right, and then here we have view from above 60,000 feet. You can still see the photogrammetry of Seattle. The terrain level of detail is more than 1 terrain pixel per 4K screen pixel. That's pretty awesome. That's a nice shot. I'm not gonna lie. Here, let's pop that out. There you go. So this is above 60,000 feet over Seattle. That looks pretty nice. It really does. So high five. That's great. Okay. And again, I'm not trying to knock just to be a jerk. I'm not. Just some of this stuff is frustrating. Okay. And it's just hard because I'm really trying hard to help you guys. Here's the one that pisses me off. CTDs, crash to desktops. We are currently investigating and are planning several fixes for World Update 6. You have a great large portion of the community that cannot play your sim, that they have spent a ton of money on. Okay, by this point, it's been out over a year. We have all purchased third-party applications. We have all purchased peripherals and maybe new monitors. Some people built computers specifically to run this simulator and crashed to desktops. You are making them wait another 20 days before any of this gets addressed? Because so far it hasn't mentioned anywhere else. Nowhere in this document does it say that that some crash of desktops may be addressed prior to Sim Update 6 or World Update 6. Nowhere does it say this hotfix coming this weekend may fix some crash of desktops. Doesn't say it anywhere. Okay, so you have a great portion of the community. I am reading comments every single day, hoping to find a fix. Which hopefully I have one for you guys today. We'll see what happens. But you know, I'm desperate trying to help you guys because this sucks. You know, I'm reading the frustration. I'm a very empathetic person, right? So I can hear the anger in you guys' comments, and it sucks. It sucks not being able to do anything about it. And you're sending me that you're going to put out a hotfix for some graphical adjustments, but you're not going to put out a hotfix that's going to address any of the damn crash of desktops. Okay, this is what I was referring to about that sick patient. We have a patient that is on the table dying, and you're going to worry about whether or not their shoelaces are tied. You know, that's BS. Waiting another 20 days is horse crap, in my opinion. I'm sorry. And I'm not even impacted by the issue. And literally, from a professional standpoint, from someone who does troubleshooting all day, every day for my job, that's BS. That's unacceptable in my opinion. 20 days. Again, this is a paid product. So anyway. All right. So I know I went off on a tangent there, but that one just pissed me off. So let's keep going here. Washed out graphics and cloud appearance. Attempted improvements to the cloud appearance introduced an overexposure of the world. This will be addressed in the upcoming hotfix. We are planning on brightness slider for an upcoming sim update, which will allow... Okay, what are we like? Why is that new technology? This is something I've actually wondered right from the start. Why would you not include brightness and contrast, at the very least brightness or gamma, right? In any graphics study. This is actually the first sim that I can think of where neither one of those options came default in the base build. Like, did you not think brightness would be something people would want to adjust? You know, anyway, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be too negative. I'm not. That's great that they're adding it. It truly is. I'll shut up about that. Aerosoft CRJ, we have found and fixed a bug in an open source math library that is part of WebAssembly, which is part of the CRJ and has been resolved. A new package will be made available in the next few days. All right, well, cool. CRJ is going to be fixed. ATC incorrect altitude. The pressure altitude has been brought in line with the new altimeter simulation, and ATC should no longer ask you to get your current altitude if you're already there, or get to your current altitude if you're already there. Gosh, I'm speed reading here. This is addressed in the hotfix. Further improvements to the altimeter and ambient pressure system will be coming in World Update 6. Temperature spikes. The previous hotfix did not fix all the cases of this issue. This is being addressed in the upcoming hotfix. All right, so there you guys go. Temperature spikes, for those of you who are unfamiliar, there are many of us who have experienced, basically you'll be up at cruise altitude in the upper, 20s to 30,000 feet of range, and you'll be rocking 52 degrees Celsius, which obviously changes the flight dynamics and makes for a very nasty flight. Okay, that's extremely hot and not what it should be. Now, this is not an exhaustive list, and I did take this part into consideration. We are investigating all the issues that have been communicated, and we will give updates in the feedback snapshot on August 12th. We acknowledge and apologize for the gap in our communication. Thank you for continued support and patience. You're not getting a lot of patience from this, and I can tell you right now, much of the community is going to be just as pissed as I am reading this, if not more so, given the fact that I'm not impacted by much of this. Okay, so the bottom line is, unfortunately, from everything that I can tell here, none of the crash of desktops are being addressed, which, again, that just pisses me off beyond all else. It goes back to my sick patient comment. I don't understand that. Great, it's going to look prettier. No promises on how long you'll be able to fly it for. That's frustrating as hell. So I'm going to hope that once again our community has brought some things to our attention that might help you guys. So I'll tell you what, let's get off the patch notes. You guys know what's coming. Hopefully by Friday, hopefully or no later than Monday. It does still bring some fixes. I'm not trying to bash Asobo into the ground. I'm really not. It's just This is a bad call in my opinion. It's a bad professional standpoint in my opinion. Now, with that being said, nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. Everything gets prioritized. And they may flat out not know what's causing the crash to desktops. And that's fine, but say it. Say it. Say the reason why we don't have any fixes for the crash desktops in this particular patch is because we don't know what's causing them. I don't have any problem with anybody saying, I don't know. I prefer it. Rather than you give me some BS publicized crap, tell me you don't know, but tell me we are looking as hard as we can. We're taking every avenue. We're asking people for bug reports, whatever, we're diving into it. But right now we just don't have enough answers in order to be able to apply a fix. I can accept that. Mistakes happen, but just come out and say you don't know. Okay? Anyway, moving on. All right, so now let's talk about something that hopefully will help. So what we're going to do, and unfortunately, guys, this is only for Nvidia users. I don't have anything for AMD. If you're on AMD and experiencing this, this is strictly for my Nvidia, the green machine. We're going to right-click on our Nvidia icon here down the toolbar. We're going to go to GeForce Experience. And if you are not already using it, what we're going to do is go to Drivers. You can see we're on the Game Ready driver. We're going to come down, and I want you guys to move to the Studio driver. Okay, I'm not going to do this right now because, again, I'm not having the issue. But literally all you can do is click there. It's going to check for updates. You download it and install your driver just like you would any other way. Now, actually here, I'll tell you what. I'm going to download it. I'm just not going to execute it, but I do want to show you guys one major thing. Now, I recommend doing this every time. This is how I do my installations, but I will show you guys something I definitely want you to do if you are switching from the Game Ready to Studio. Of course, we have to wait. I'm not sure what we're waiting for, but we have to wait. It's a long wait. There. We want to go into custom installation. Do not do Express, please. We're going to let that pop up. And all I want you guys to do, the only difference here is I want you to click that. Perform a clean installation. This should remove the old installer. Now, there are better ways to do this, but I'm trying to keep this simple for those who may not be as computer savvy as others. So, please, if you guys want to talk to them about how to remove video drivers in a better way, by all means, this is just at least a decent start. So anyway, click on that Perform Clean Installation and then hit Install. Again, I'm not going to do it because I'm not experiencing the issue, at least yet. But I want you guys all to try that because there have been numerous posts of this resolving issues for people. And again, numerous. I have seen this multiple times that it is resolving crash to desktops all over the place. Okay, so and it could be the drivers that are crashing with the sim. Okay, now technically it's the other way around. It could be the sim crashing the drivers. This is not a fault of Nvidia. I'm still absolutely not willing to go that route. But anyway, give it a shot, guys. Worst case scenario, you're in the same boat and you've lost 10 minutes of your life that you're never going to get back. Best case scenario is you start having stable flights. All right. So as usual, guys, I will continue until the hot fixes and all of these issues are addressed. I will continue to keep my eye out for information as quickly as it comes, and I will do the testing that I can do, and I will get back to you guys with new tips and tricks as I find them. All right, guys, keep the comments coming, keep the tips and ideas coming, guys. I am sharing them as quickly as I see them. Love you all as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.